As someone who was also severely closeted in college, here's my no-spoiler review of Overcompensating, created by Benito Skinner. The only true spoiler I have is that it was incredible. Firstly, it is ranked #1 on Prime Video, as it should be. One thing I didn't expect about this show was to be triggered, and not triggered in like a way that I wouldn't watch it, but it brought me back to college so much. I didn't expect to relate as hard as I did to these situations, from the parties and the pre-games, to the way I would try to act straight in front of people even though I knew something was off about it, to even the way that Benny performed Super Bass by Nicki Minaj at a pre-game. Like, it was so relatable. And even though back in college when I felt alone and scared during these experiences, this show made me realize that it was all okay and it wasn't for nothing, and it was very normal for me to experience this. The show starts off super in your face and super sexually charged, but that's literally what college was. Like, on your first day, you felt like you had to prove yourself in that way, which you learn isn't actually the case. Especially as someone who was closeted, seeing Benny portray what it was like to have to fake being with a woman or fabricating stories about being with women actually made me reflect a lot on my sexuality and how far I've come. Because when I look back on it, I'm like, why would I have done that? Why would I make up these stories? But it truly was all part of my self-discovery, and seeing it on a screen reassures me that everything I did back then was a means to an end to accept myself and understand who I was and my sexuality. Wally, who played Carmen, and Benny's chemistry in this reminded me so much of my best girlfriends in college. Some of my first friends, if not all of my first friends, were girls in college. And we met just like this at an orientation or like sitting next to each other in class. And their entire journey made me realize that back in college, women and the girls in my life made me feel safe, and they made me feel seen in moments where I didn't even see myself. And they were my ride or dies, like the bar scene where Carmen couldn't get in with her fake ID and Benny chooses to go with her. I've definitely done the same, knowing that even though I wanted to be with those guys, I didn't know if I wanted to be with them because I was friends with them or I had some romantic thing that I wanted to do with them, even though I wasn't gonna act on it because I didn't want anybody to know. So I went with my girls. Haley, played by Holmes, was the absolute standout. She was so funny. I was on the edge of my seat waiting for her to come back on screen every single time. I need her back for season 2. I need more personal storylines. Everybody's making edits of her. She was truly an icon, a legend in the moment. Like Holmes, Mary Beth Barone, who played Grace, was also an amazing standout, and I actually related to her more than I expected to. The character arc where she comes into like this new sense of power, a new sense of discovery of what she wants, was really similar to how I felt like I wanted to be super popular when I first got into college. I wanted to hang with the frats. I wanted to hang out with the cool kids, but in reality, what does cool even mean when you're an adult? Because to me, cool was her working and being with Charlie XCX, not helping the frat bros send the pledges out to do something crazy. Charlie XCX doing the entire score and even all the songs that they played throughout it, like Team by Lorde, really brought me at least back to that college time period and made it so nostalgic. Seeing Charlie play herself in this was so cool to see because she was so funny in every single scene. Like, I need more of Charlie in her acting bag. One connection I really related to a lot was the one between Benny and Miles. At first it was a friendship bond, but then it also felt very romantic, but then it brought to life those blurred lines of like, are we friends or do we feel romantically about each other? But then you repress those feelings because you're like, no, I'm straight, and you fully convinced yourself that you're straight. But then those feelings always surface, and honestly, it's mentally exhausting, but it's also kind of exciting because it's a part of that self-discovery, and it also makes you realize that you might not totally be alone in this. Overcompensating was one of the first shows in a long time that I actually truly felt connected to. I saw so much of myself in it. It is so funny, it is so nostalgic, relatable, and I need a season 2 ASAP.